It's so fucking Joever, boys and girls. I don't even need to say it. Should I just not say it? Maybe I just won't say it.
I think everyone kind of knows at this point, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it'd be kind of dumb not to say it, but at the same time, it'd be dumb also to say it. So it's like, it's a lose-lose.
Lose, might as well. So just in case, Mr. Bojangles.
Can I also just say something? I hate the fact that it's just been 3 episodes of just nothing but fucking politics. And it's not even election month yet.
It's only been 2. What are you talking about?
It feels like we've been talking about this way longer than we should have.
No, last week we talked about Trump getting Doug Dimmadomed.
Well, almost Doug Dimmadomed.
Almost getting Doug Dimmadomed. And the week before that, we talked about So no, we did not talk about politics for like 3 weeks in a row. This one happened to be a 2-parter because American politics was just a fucking 2-parter this week, Dennis. I mean, what do you want me to say? We could talk about Chris Tyson from Mr. Beast getting fucking outed as a pedo, and now people on Twitter.com thinking all trans peoples are fucking pedos. But I mean, I guess that's an important topic too, but like, with respect to the trans community, of course, but like, everybody and their dick is talking about that. So if we have time after we're talking about Mr. Bo Jiden, we'll talk about that too, because that actually is some pretty serious stuff as well. But if you've been living under a cock, Mr. Bo Jiden has succumbed to peer pressure and all sorts of rambunctious bullying up by the blue people in Congress, and they basically told him to fuck off and die. Which he now will with his wife, Dr. Bill Jiden, and to pave the way for Kamala Harris instead.
You think he got bullied off? I honestly think he even just kind of bowed out at one point, because I think this is honestly quite it's a good move. I will say at least that he decided to bow out because
good move. It was smart as fuck.
Yeah, and like, you know, as far as like, you know, his mental faculties, I'm pretty sure, like, you know, I bet you like someone in his cabinet probably thought of the idea and then he took credit for it. It's like, oh yeah, we'll do that. It's like, I thought of that. And it's like, no, Joe, like Kamala actually thought of that. No, I thought of that. But
it's like that scene from Veep. That show from fucking, that show that Julia Louis-Dreyfus did where she plays the vice president, and then she finds out the president's gonna die, like he has cancer or some shit, and so she just runs away from the Secret Service and goes to one of the closets in the White House and just pops off. She's like, yes! Yes! Fuck yeah! Mr. Bo Jiden has dropped out of the presidential race. Joe Biden's not gonna be the president again.
I also don't know if I've ever seen that before, where like the potential presidential candidate, or like I guess repeat candidate, like in his case, has like ever dropped from the race and like kind of just said, no, my VP will take the reins from here. And
it's never happened this close to the election. It's never happened.
And we got what, 4 months left until election day. So honestly though, it's actually, I will say, you know, we gave shit to the Dems last week for just having no ideas for the most part. So, I mean, you know, I would at least say hats off to them for actually like for making the decision to do so, because for one, I think they even knew like after that bullet grazed fucking Trump, it was just, he just got boosted by 100 at that point, and it was just, they just knew like there ain't no way our old man is gonna be able to fight and be a matchup with that other old man. So that we need something else.
Might as well have been a rainbow, like shitting out pixie dust like onto Donald Trump,
and just buffing,
gave him the ability to fly. Yeah, it might as well have been, because so many people, there were people, we talked about it last week, how I thought it was dumb that they would do this, but the fact that somebody tried to kill him and they failed leads, like, you know, some people to be like, oh, he's important. Oh, they had to shoot him because to silence him, blah, 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 conspiracy, all this shit. And the leader of the, by the way, the fucking Secret Service she actually stepped down. Yeah, and that procedure was cringe, by the way. She had no answers to, like, anything as to why was there nobody on that roof? And she was like,
You think, though, she strategically played dumb, or they legit, like, they knew, but they just didn't want to be accountable. What do you think?
Might have just had nothing to
answer.
do with her, and she's. I was. I don't. I was.
Because I personally feel she has no idea as well.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, like, she's the director and stuff. I don't know how important her job is, if she's like very hands-on kind of director where like she's in charge of every single operation, or if she has people below her that kind of just do that for her, and she was in fucking Malibu or some shit or wherever, just doing her thing, and she's in charge and she has to step down.
But I'd even argue it's like, since it's also like election season, it's like this is the time where you should be hands-on, no? If you were director of Secret Service, like, I mean, considering like kind of just the way political assassinations have been in this country for the last like fucking 100 years or so now at this point, it's just like we've had presidents and even like presidential candidates, and then even like just politicians in general, like not even like president types, like they've been literally shot point blank in the middle of the street by a bunch of like in a literal crowd of people, like Robert Kennedy being as another example of that. So I don't know, I find that kind of weird that like at least the director was just kind of like, I like to think before she even went in there, like all of her peeps were just saying, just play dumb, just pretend as if you had no idea what the fuck happened, and like just at that point, like you're gonna be fired, like for sure you're gonna be fired, but like we're just gonna frame it in a way where it's like, hey, you're just bowing out because like you basically royally fucked up. And truthfully, yeah, they did royally fuck up. But and again, and this is, I think, a little bit off topic, but like to all the ones who like actually like were almost praising that gunman and even just saying like, oh man, like it sucks that he didn't shoot him. It's like, you're a fucking idiot.
Please, that's what Kyle Gass did. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard. And plus now Jables is just straight up not gonna associate with him for a while. So even if even Jack Black like can have that nuance to him and even just know like kind of what happened was pretty fucked, like you can too, just saying. So let's not be stupid here. And also, I guess
he deleted his apology though.
He did.
Which is
Why?
kind of based. Because he very clearly didn't want to do it, and like he was like made to by like his constituents and whatnot, and then he was just like, no, I meant that shit, and then deleted it. Still a fucked up thing to say, but at the very least, it's he stood by his ground, and I fucking hate Trump too, and I'm not gonna sit here and say I wish death upon the man, because when that happened, I was kind of freaked out, to be honest. Like in my mind, I was like, oh, be careful what you wish for. Because I was just like, oh, that was kind of fucked up. Like, you have to wish death upon somebody and then have something like that happen to him. Despite Trump, in my personal opinion, being a piece of shit and, like, being responsible for many horrible things that have happened in the country within the last 8 years or so. But regardless, Secret Service, we're moving on from that. Dennis said he wanted to move on from that. Bo Jodin stepped out of the race for Kamala. It's a good move. A lot of people are way more excited now. She broke the record for money raised for a political candidate upon entering a race. Like 100 million already. Democrats are getting behind her. Chuck Schumer endorsed Pete Buttigieg, who's also like a VP nominee or VP consideration, which is not surprising, to be honest, the Treasury Secretary. People are actually really excited already. A lot of people are speculating that the Republicans on their end are scared shitless because Donald Trump is now the old incoherent man. He doesn't look young compared to the other candidate anymore. It didn't take
no
just
amount
a
of
fucking
makeup will hide that,
or fucking wig job, or like spray tan, or like fucking spray tan on the hair and everything. He's the one who said that Nancy Pelosi was like the vice president incoherently in a speech now, and then the other guy didn't say something worse. Now we got Kamala Harris, 60 years old, looks fucking incredible, by the way.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
we're gonna not even beat around the bush at this point. The fucking PILF, bro. Hail to the PILF. I'm down, bro. I don't give a fuck if this is the way that we get a woman president. I don't care. Truthfully, if like this is how we do it, by like having them replace somebody else, because hey, this is proven that this is one for the most part that a lot of Democrats, especially young people as well, can already get behind, because she's still oldish, 60. That's
59.
That's 59. 60, 59, that's the new 40 now, pretty much, with like advances in modern medical science. That's not that old anymore. The other two fuckers that were running before, old as fucking fuck. Biden, if he ran and won, would be almost 90 by the time his shit was done. Mm-hmm. Trump would be 82. Donald Trump now is the oldest presidential nominee in the history of the country. Ever. With the exception of Joe Biden now, who dropped out of the race, but he doesn't count anymore since he's gone. Donald Trump is now as old as Biden was when he was running and got elected. Where's the fucking outcry about that? Where's that fucking shit? Or any of the lies he told in the debate or whatever. Any incoherent thing he says. He babbles too. It just sounds better because he doesn't have a stutter. And so now the Democrat strategy, upon like waiting forever to, do anything, because that's what they do. One side makes everything worse and the other side sits on their asses and can't govern. In usual time, they waited until it was borderline almost too late. At least by American media time, even though it wasn't. They still have plenty of time to do this. But at the very least, they actually listened. As more and more Democrats called for him to step down, a lot of people thought, like, this was stupid, it's way too soon to do this. France had their election in, like, weeks. Like, a lot of other countries have been doing this shit better than, like, we have, though. There was plenty of time. Jon Stewart said that first, and I hate to fucking say it, but he was fucking based as he usually is. And now we got Kamala, who a lot of polls are already speculating. He said there is fucking plenty of time to drop Biden and replace him with somebody else. Because the Democrats were like, it's too late, we can't do this, he's still our best chance, we put somebody else, it's too much of a risk, blah, blah, blah. He was the one who actually had the fucking balls, and you know him, he's pretty left-leaning too. He was the one who had the fucking balls to say, drop out, you're too fucking old, there's plenty of time to do this. And there is. And now Kamala's numbers are fucking surging. Already projected to potentially win some key swing states already within being in the race for what, like 2-3 days? And you know that VP is going to be whiter than my cock, which has very rarely ever gets exposed to the sun. You know that man is going to be whiter than this fucking PC over at the right over here, and this desk that Dennis is looking at right now. What's another funny thing I could say about white people? You know that shit is gonna be whiter than fucking shit. Oh, I didn't have anything.
You want to know something that I just thought of? I like to think like all the Dems.
A white joke? Did you think of a good white joke that I couldn't think of?
No, it's old. It's old now. But What I was thinking of was that like during like the meeting, like they like all of the Dems and stuff were just like gathered in the office one day, and they were just kind of like, okay, look, listen. They all just looked at Joe and just like, Joe, we love you. We love the stupid shit you do, and we love just the geriatric shit that you've done for the last 4 years. It's been great. But we really, 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 really need someone new right now. And like Trump, if we put you in that ring with him, you're gonna get bodied, man. Like no cap, where you're gonna get so bodied so hard, and it's gonna be embarrassing when you leave. And like we need someone new right now. And I like to imagine like during all of this, right? Like Kamala's just like in the corner of the conference room, just on her phone and just not paying attention to anything. And then eventually they were just like, okay, but then who should we get to replace him? And they all just turn to her, and then she just looks up from her phone like, oh no, no, you're not picking me. It's like, we have nobody else right now. Who the fuck is gonna run against this guy who almost got shot? Literally, this dude's star is just so high right now. And she's just like, but like, I picked VP for a reason, because I knew it was gonna be easy. I don't do anything. I've done nothing for 4 years. I've done a couple addresses and speeches here and there, but literally all they remember me was when I wore the Timbs when I walked down the airplane. That's all they remember me for.
Wait, what? She had
the Timbs, bro.
The Timbs!
The Timbs of Tartarus.
I'm going to need those, fuck boy. Meanwhile, Joe's just sitting there the whole time, like, can we get ice cream?
I want to have some butter.
The whole time, that's his response. No, honestly, Joe was a fucking patriot for doing what he did, and I bet you it broke his heart To like be told
think
you're
so?
too fucking old to to be like for a guy whose whole life was in servitude, and obviously disagree with some of his decisions when he was younger, like like the crime bill and all that shit, like back in the day, that was like pretty much had the bipartisan support, which young radical liberals love to bring up on Twitter.com if anybody ever in the history of life they did something they disagreed with at any given point. But I like to imagine for a guy who lived pretty much his whole life in servitude to this country, that probably broke his heart to think that the best thing that I have to do for it now is to get out of the way. And that's what eventually got through to his head when somebody definitely just sat him down and explained it to him. And he probably just sat there nodding and was just like, okay. This is, I've always wanted my best interest was to serve the nation. I think Joe Biden honestly has done some pretty good stuff as far as the things that didn't get blocked by courts and what have you. But, I'm sorry, something just shook in my room. That was fucking crazy. That's like dog stomping around or something. I don't know. It is his bear. He's about to plow through my door. He loves to plow through shit. And he's good at it too. But I like to think with all the stuff he's done in his presidency, being the thing that stopped Donald Trump from winning a second term, which a lot of people believe would have like devolved America into a borderline fascist state if he got everything that he wanted. The people would have fought tooth and nail, but like at the same time, it's still with some of his ideals and like him being surrounded by the yes men that he has and just his
even
actual
stacking the
proven
Supreme
track
Court.
record.
Yeah,
Stacking the Supreme Court, which is another thing I tell people who are just like, but Kamala was a cop, or Joe Biden is just like basically a Republican in sheep's clothing. It's like, you're not just voting for him. You realize if Donald Trump wins, and people in the Supreme Court die, he's gonna stack it even further. If dude, Donald Trump wins, Clarence Thomas is retiring, guaranteed, and he's gonna fill the seat. Now that Kamala's in here, Clarence Thomas is gonna stay. He is. And all those fuckers that like Trump put in. You're not just voting for him, you're voting for the people they're gonna appoint and what they're gonna do and shit like that. It's not like if you believe it's just face value of just like what this person has done, it's not, or what they look like, it's not just that. But as we established next week, I'm not going on this rant again. People vote with their guts. They vote based off what they see. They vote based off, like, identity as well. Which, again, is why Kamala's got to get a fucking white VP, like a white dude VP probably, to bring that round in for her.
She's also got the hot points.
She's got the hot points. She's got the women points. There's a whole fucking Nikki Haley voters for Kamala now who aren't voting for Trump afterwards, who are now going to be voting for her. I'm not going to go on that rant again about identity politics and whatnot and voting with your gut. To listen to last week's episode if that's what you want to hear. But going back to Biden, as an old man, that had to have broken his heart to think that the best thing I can do for somebody who dedicated his life to serving this country is to not serve it anymore. But it took somebody explaining to him that the best way to serve it is to get out of the way. It doesn't matter what your job is. When you feel old and useless like that, that's gotta feel like a shitty thing to do. But he gets to retire now after like a lifelong of servitude with his wife.
Bro deserves
who
it.
Who looks astronomically younger than he does. So like, he's got that game in there too. So honestly, it makes sense. It just, like the Democrats in usual fashion, they were almost too late to the party. But they did it, and that's what matters.
That's the thing. Like, it's almost 4 months away now before election season, or before election day. And but then seeing just like the whole, as you mentioned, like Kamala's popularity just like surging right now, because of their decision. I think she truthfully may have a pretty good chance, if things still continue to go well. I think even on the surface level, if we're just even talking about likability, I think she is. She has a very, like, if I'm just going off of like, I guess, like she has a really, and this may sound like a little weird kind of mentioning it, but like she has a really nice smile. And I think, just, we talked about vibes before, like, yesterday, like, last week. And truthfully, like, she has that charisma for sure. And I think, honestly, even though, like, again, we don't really know too much about like her politics as of this point, like the debate between her and Trump will be very telling, in my opinion. just to kind of see like what kind of for one debater she is. And I'll even say just even a few good points, I guess, about Trump, at least previously, even in the 2016 election. Like, he was a far better debater than his opponents. That was for sure, in my opinion. And I think it wasn't really that much of a competition either, considering like Hillary just kind of recycled the same line over and over and over again, just like how we mentioned with South Park and how she did it in there. Like, she just kind of like, I think, well, in her case, it was just very much like she just thought overconfidently that, oh, I got this shit in the bag. This guy's a clown. And this clown beat her ass in 2016. So I think as of right now, the Dems also know, like, they learned their lesson, I feel. And they also know that, like, we are not going to not take this guy seriously again, because they did that last time and it fucked them over so bad that, like, we had 4 years of Trump. I didn't really care either way who really was president in that time. But, like, in their case, if I was them, Trump winning was very much their fault as much as the Republicans just hauling ass to, like, get this guy up there. And it's just like, it's a two-way street with that shit. So I think now
you look back at that election, it makes total sense why Trump won.
Yeah,
it really does. Some people will say, like, oh, like, Trump only lost because Hillary was a woman, and, like, I promise you that was not the only reason.
Yeah,
people wanted
it was
to try
probably one of them, but it wasn't
one
the
of
main
them for
reason.
sure. Yeah, people didn't trust Hillary. People were willing to try something new. Like, people always blame, like, all their problems on the president, and they thought Hillary's 4 more years of Obama were willing to try something new. Trump had the outreach on Twitter with his approach of, like, all, like, the crazy
Bro worked the
tweets
system
and
really
whatnot.
well.
He did. He worked the system really well, and just. Yeah, he worked the system really well. Like, he brought, like, people to him with the idea of something new, is that people were willing to try something new. And I think that's part of the reason he lost in 2020, is because we had something new with him, and shit got so fucking bad that instead of the previous election where we had less people voting than ever, which is another reason why he won, in my opinion, we had more people voting than ever in 2020. Those back-to-back records against each other, and that was when Biden fucking destroyed him. Now we've experienced 4 years of both, and then, like, the whole showmanship strongman politics thing comes again with, like, the rainbow, like, shitting the pixie dust on him and whatnot. And Joe Biden's age was just starting to show. And even though Trump's is too, nobody cared because Biden's was way more, like, pronounced. It was way more palpable when you watch him.
He
the
looked
way that he
ghoulish
speaks
like Bill
stutter.
Clinton.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Trump, the hair job, the fact that he was able to form more complete sentences, from even me watching that debate, I'm not an independent voter, but even me watching him, it made me think for the few independent voters in the country, Trump looked better, even though he was lying his ass off the whole night, but the substance didn't matter. It was how it looked on the outside. You know what I'm saying? The nasty patty. Burger looks great. I'm gonna fucking eat it anyway. Doesn't matter that it's filled with lard. So, and on top of the fact that, they're really just both too fucking old, it made sense for them to finally do what they did. And for the most part, the support has been overwhelming, and even I have way more faith at this point. Because first of all, like you mentioned, those two debate, Kamala's gonna destroy him. That, in my humble opinion, or at the very least do very well, or better than Biden would, who is not prepared to, like, for those kind of tactics that Trump is willing to employ and just can't really keep up with it. But also, she's got the black woman factor again. That brings in a couple of different demographics.
That's probably going to destroy Hillary. If she wins, I think it's going to destroy her.
Oh, are you kidding? It's going to kill her for sure. But, like, the will of one woman versus the good of the country, who even cares? Who cares?
There's going to be coins for Kamala. I guarantee you. There's going to be coins in this bitch.
You really think so?
I think so. Like no, it's a milestone. I think it's a milestone enough that she deserves her own coin. Like,
they didn't make coins of Obama.
No, but they were going to for Hillary.
They were?
Yeah, they were. But then, like, there was, because, like, they honestly previously thought that,
I don't want to see Hillary's face.
No, I know.
Every time I have to turn in money, I'm actually kind of glad that didn't happen now.
Unlike around election day and stuff, like, the Dems were so confident that she was gonna win, like, to the point where, like, yeah, like, remember how, like, everyone's attitude during, like, the first couple hours of, like, when they were tallying up the votes, they were like, yo, it's like, oh, this shit's in the bag so hard. Like, they were already commissioning coins for her, considering like she's going to be the first female president in the United States. But, you know, well, she ended up losing, so that whole canon event did not happen. So unfortunately, like, you know, we got what we got for the next like 4 years. And so that's why I'm saying, like, you know, if she wins, and I truthfully feel that she does have a very good chance of winning based on a lot of factors, honestly. But I think the main ones being is that she is younger, she is prettier, and at the same time, she also just, she knows that as far as like all that political dirty money that we always like hear about, like the you know, the big companies like donating money like to fund the campaigns, she's getting a lot of it, and she is gonna be continuing to get a lot of it from a whole bunch of organizations and companies that, like, you know, she's not gonna be able to win without that money.
And you know who's getting less money? Trump, because Elon backed out of the $45 million a month pledge. He's not doing that shit anymore.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I think the Tesla stocks might have plummeted a little bit when he saw that shit, because God knows a lot of Trump supporters can't afford that fucking cars, those fucking cars in the first place. So, or don't want to drive electric vehicles.
Yeah,
because, you know, they believe in their big gas guzzlers, and demographic just kind of shifted there, and maybe he just fucked off because he realized a lot of people who are moderate liberals,
do you
like
think
my
he
father,
would?
who bought his Tesla, don't want to support him anymore. Because my father tells me straight up, it's like, I regret buying a Tesla because this guy's a fucking idiot. Like, my dad tells me that, and I go to my dad and I dap him up. I'm like, Dad, you're fucking based. Oh my god.
He probably has no idea what you're talking about when you say based.
Yeah, but he daps me up anyway, so that's all I care about.
Can I also just say, or even ask you, do you think then Elon would back Kamala?
Fuck no. Are you joking? Hell no. Hell no. I mean, Elon identifies as an independent. His actions do not reflect that. If you see him on Twitter, everything's a right-wing conspiracy theory to him. He replies to a lot of those conspiracy theories with, interesting. Or he with the word concerning. He usually just puts the word concerning behind them. The guy's so insecure, right, that he bought an entire fucking social media platform and trained people within the company to gas up his own tweets because he felt like not enough people were seeing them. He's insecure as fuck. Like, the guy really just has, like, those kind of genuine issues. And as well as just the fact that more than anything else, he's a billionaire. And Donald Trump is the guy who's gonna, like, give tax breaks to billionaires and all his billionaire buddies. That's the whole reason he was supporting him in the first place. He unbanned Donald Trump off of Twitter based off of a Twitter poll. And then wrote, "The people have spoken." Yeah.
That is true.
Fuck no, he's not supporting Kamala. Like, he identifies as an independent, but he leans a little right if he had to choose.
Yeah,
that being said,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, that being said, I mean, I guess segue into this topic, I mean, and I there's a whole rant I could go on about this. I'll try not to, don't worry. But I guess, I don't know. Elon doesn't seem like a big law and order guy. Because to give a little bit of Kamala's background, she was a DA. Yep. She was the DA of California, the district attorney. She locked some fucking people up. And a lot of people are freaking out because there was a whole weed thing about her. That she locked up, like, people were like, oh, she locked up a lot of black guys for weed. And that would also be her and every district attorney in the world that had a quota
around that
lock,
time.
Like, a lot of people up for weed around that time. Joe Biden supported the crime bill way back in the day. The supply and demand comes and goes. Kamala's not going to do shit or support shit like that anymore because she knows times have changed and the bases have changed. Back then, way less people cared. You were a radical back then for thinking that idea. Now everybody is woke, quote unquote, and they know about this kind of shit and the prison industrial complex and all that kind of stuff. And so scrapping that up to her because, like, that was her past, I think is kind of silly because you have to look at what they're doing now or what they're going to say. But granted, they're all politicians. They're going to lie about what they're going to do and what they're going to say, you know? The whole age-old argument of, like, one side is just genuinely evil and the Republicans, and then the Democrats are just useless and don't know how to fucking govern, and they'll lie about, like, getting to where they are in the election. But I'm bringing all that up because most takes I've seen about Kamala are overwhelmingly positive. And the rights response has been pretty insane to her, like being in the race so far. We'll get to that in a bit, because I know they're threatening to sue for some fucking reason with like no lawsuit, as well as just just like calling her. Yeah, they're saying that it should be like illegal, like to swap out the presidential candidate this far into the race. Because a lot of the Joe Biden money is now going to her or something. Yeah. It's all bullshit. Because if I'm keeping it a stack, they're panicking. Because they know Trump is like the geriatric old dude now. And then they're trying to like dig for stuff on her. Like and the shit that they've even talked about is like insane. They got
but that's just like politics season Kamala in general, isn't it? They're just always digging up stuff and like they're trying to use it.
No, it is, but they can usually dig up something better. And what are they gonna do? They're gonna dig up, like Kamala used to fucking lock up black dudes in jail for weed. Your base likes that. Like, so like, what do you? They have nothing on her, and it's honestly really funny to watch. But point is, the response to Kamala has been overwhelmingly positive. Breaking records for money raised for a new candidate this far into the race this fast, like 100 million. The support for her online has been absolutely insane. The polls are showing that she's projected to win a lot of swing states and is already doing way better against Trump. So, why am I bringing this up? Because ever since Tumblr removed porn, all the Tumblrettes moved to Twitter. That's part of the reason Twitter is such a terrible place now, besides all the obvious reasons. Twitter's meant to divide us, short-form debates, the fact that Elon owns it and ruins it with all the horrible decisions he does, onwards. The one take I've seen here from a very certain type of dipshit, radical, fucktard liberal is, guys, why are we celebrating? She was a cop. A cop, guys. A cop. She was a pig. Anyways, here's a link in the description. Free Palestine. Send money to this source. All that kind of stuff. And to that I say, are you fucking stupid? Genuinely, like, it's a pure case of me thinks the lady doth protest too much, because you would rather not vote for the person preventing the guy who stands for literally everything you despise in every fiber of your being. A guy who is a textbook fascist in your eyes. A guy who has, like, gutted more environmental organizations, as well as just, like, gave billionaire tax breaks to his billionaire buddies. Mass deportation with the banning of, like, the Iranian people shit that he did within months of his presidency. Pulling us out of the climate accords. Everything that you stand for just gutted under this guy. You're not gonna stop him from getting elected. The guy who who stacked the Supreme Court to remove your abortion rights, which is one of your most passionate issues, because this woman used to be a DA. You're gonna purity test the only thing standing between the country becoming everything that you claim you despise because of one little thing about her past that made her not perfect. It's the same thing as the fucking Bernie or bust people, which is part of why, another reason why Hillary lost in 2016, because when the Democrats fucked over Bernie by making him not get the primary nomination, even though it seemed like he was the one to get it, they didn't want to vote for Hillary. Because they're like, hey, she removed him from this. You know what I'm talking about? That specific, like, liberal arts fucking women's studies major at fucking college, the kind where it's just the Democrats are also basically
whenever they talk, it
Republicans.
just makes your eyes roll back to the back of your head. Like,
yeah, those kind of Velma type motherfuckers. Yeah, like a Velma, basically. She's a Velma. Yep. And you know what I mean. I don't know about you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're insane to purity test the woman that is standing between us and 4 more years of mass deportation, fucking flooding Gaza, potentially repealing gay marriage, because I guarantee you this Supreme Court's gonna go for it if they get the chance. They're gonna want to do that too, trying to make the Christian theocracy that they're doing. You're saying all this shit. You realize how fundamentally insane what I'm saying is, right? You realize this. Like, you're gonna, like, stand between the one thing that is stopping all of the things that you hate from happening just because she's not perfect? Are you fucking stupid? Like, are you actually fucking stupid? Like, a perfect Republican perma trifecta is what will happen if Donald Trump is elected. Executive branch completely locked up. Who knows about, like, the fucking legislative, but let's look at the fucking Supreme Court and whatnot that he already stacked. He's gonna do more of that. Clarence Thomas is gonna retire and he's gonna replace him with someone even worse when that shit rolls around. Like, think. Like, it's the kind of person who gets so angry in their righteous anger with such a warped sense of self-righteousness that they wind up doing the exact opposite of what they claim that they're standing for just because the thing that they're getting isn't perfect. Like, are you fucking crazy? This woman is going to try to appeal to you, or at the very least, she's going to stop the thing that you claim to be standing against from coming in. That's fucking crazy. You claim to stand against fascism. Look at what Donald Trump is going to do. He's going to pull every source of aid away from Ukraine when that comes in. And if you think Putin is going to stop at Ukraine once he gets that shit...
Man, speaking
you see
facts.
What I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm getting at, Dennis? Oh, Kamala isn't perfect, so we're not going to vote and stop Donald Trump from getting elected. Even though there's somebody who, in their political viewpoint, is 10 million times worse. But because Kamala used to be a cop? Really? Really? It's like, if you don't have the perfect track record of protesting on college campuses that Bernie Sanders had when he was running, it's like that. What there has to be like some sort of like new terminology for that communications and political scientists have to come up with, like for the Bernie or bust people, that now that they had somebody who was legitimately perfect and he got fucked out of the primaries, that they'll never vote for anybody else ever again. There's got to be a terminology for that. I can think of a good one. We should call it just dipshitism, in my humble opinion. But
well, to be
unfortunately,
fair,
I don't know if that's gonna fly with the political community.
I think though, I think it's also indicative of with how at least the Dems and even like their supporters have just been feeling so just shafted like every election season, as far as like kind of especially like when Bernie was running, everyone wanted him to be their guy, like to be the candidate for us to vote for, and the Dems just said straight up no. And and it came to obviously bite them in the ass like later on, but I think what I'm getting at too, like kind of fast forwarding like where we are now, like in 2024. And can I even just say, like, I think this election is going to be one for the history books, truthfully. I think this 2024 election is definitely going to go down as, like, probably one of the most, like, based or even, like, just craziest fucking, like, turns of history, like, I've ever seen. Because
if Biden was still in, it would not have been the most historical because less people would have voted than ever. If Biden was still in the race and he decided to stuck through it, mark my words, that's what would have happened.
I really also just want to know in the future, like, kind of just what exactly happened in that, like, office one day with the Democrats. And just, like, I really just want to know, like, whose idea was this? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, Kamala
There's gonna be
herself,
a documentary about it, dude. There's gonna be a documentary about it. I guarantee you.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying that, like, it's just one of those things, though, where, like, I know Kamala is not the kind of person that, like, I think would go after power like that. I honestly, because, like, I know for a fact that even, like, presidents of a political party almost have no say as to kind of how the political party kind of just functions, if that makes sense. Because there's always, I think, certain people within, like, the parties that, like, I think hold much of, like, kind of the sort of, not executive power, but, like, as far as, like, decision making, like, it's going to be up to them. And it's usually not the president's. Because I think even in Trump's case, like, he's not the head of the party, like, so to speak. He's the president, and he's, a Republican. But I think within each party, there's always, like, certain people that, like, literally make the decisions as to, like, kind of how the party's gonna, like, navigate through shit. And I know for a fact that, like, for Joe and Donald, they're not the guys. They're not the guy when it comes to, like, decision making in that regard. They're the president, but they're not the guy.
You're not him.
You're not him. Like, they're not.
You're the president, but you're not him. Yeah.
And, like, for the Dems case, and again, like, I look at Kamala, and, like, she just very much reminds me of Pence in the same way that, like, they're inoffensive and they don't do anything. They're just there for the most part. And, like, we really didn't see them do much for the most part. But now, like, we're seeing, now we're actually going to be seeing who she is politically, like, on the big stage. And she's been, like, behind the curtains for a lot of things for a long time now, like, for at least the last 4 years. Like, we've never really seen her do anything, like, as David said, like most VPs do. But So that's why, like, I feel as if, like, even this is crunch time, I think, for the Dems for sure, because there's only 4 months left before, like, election day comes around. And, like, you know, even though, again, like, I've said it, like, Kamala, like, you know, seems to be doing pretty well right now. The numbers are looking good for her, money-wise as well. Like, you know, all the donations are coming in. It seems pretty, like, you know, not like a sure thing, I want to say, but at the very least, like, she has a way higher chance of winning than Joe did. Like, I mean, that goes without saying, right? But, like, I think the other thing that has to be said is that, like, this could be a milestone moment if, like, she wins. And I almost feel too that, like, coming up on the race during November, I feel as if it's going to be pretty close, not gonna lie. I think it's going to be definitely not a one-sided race like how it was the last one, or even, like, kind of, let's say, with Trump and Hillary. Like, this one's going to be very, very close, because I think now both sides have finally woken up a bit. Like, both the Republicans and the Democrats have basically, in the Republicans' case, they've been scared shitless now because of the fact that, like, they just pulled their old guy out and now put this newer, younger, hotter candidate in who's already raking in numbers. And they're realizing now that, like, now we're, you know, as David said, now we're the ones stuck with the old man. And, like, you know, he's popular, sure. This guy survived the fucking almost assassination. But I bet even the Republicans are like, but bro, look at her. Oh no, she's hot. like, you know, it's like they know, like, what they're going up against.
She's hot. I would throw a bone to Kamala, bro. Like, I'll just say it. I really would. I'm not gonna. The porn that's gonna be made about her is gonna be insane. It's actually gonna be insane. Whoa! Hang on.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris has announced that if elected, there's a live update on Twitter right now. I'm not even kidding. She will ensure that your PS5 won't beep loudly and show you that weird, scary screen that says you turned it off the wrong way, even though you totally didn't.
She's our lady, bro.
Dude!
She's our lady.
Oh!
She's our PILF.
Yo! Let's fucking go! Kamala do what Hillary don't, dude. Remember when Hillary was like, we should ban video games. Grand Theft Auto, too violent.
She even mentioned, remember the whole, like, Pokemon Go to the polls? That was a classic Hillary.
Oh, fuck. I forgot Pokemon Go to the polls.
Oh, boy. Oh, wait. But what I was getting at, too, is just that, like, moving, I don't know. Like, again, I really still feel that come election day, it's gonna be very, very close as to, like, kind of who's gonna win. Because we kind of tried already a female candidate, and it did not go so well. And in fact, it was quite embarrassing, that loss, truthfully. But I don't know. Now I'm thinking, it really feels like both sides are actually, like, awake now in a way, where, like, they're not just gonna, like, take it easy now for these next couple months. I mean, not that they were already, but, like, as far as even, like, as the Dems, like, it just kind of seems finally that they're realizing that, like, oh no, we can't, like, we need to actually take this seriously now, because otherwise we're gonna just lose again. And, you know, obviously it's gonna be another 4 years of Trump. Although truthfully, I feel
the celebrities are coming through for her too. Beyonce and Taylor Swift are going to do a
show
in LA for Kamala Harris. Billie Eilish is going to be there. Ariana Grande, Jay-Z, Kendrick. If Kendrick does not like us at the fucking Kamala Harris fundraiser, bro, oh my god, Drake can never fucking enter the country again. Holy shit. It has never been more Joever for somebody in life. He's gonna do that. He's gonna do Meet the Grahams at the fucking Kamala Harris. Holy shit. Former Trump rival Nikki Haley demands Haley voters for Harris to cease and desist. Oh, that's hilarious, because she fucking endorsed Trump like a fucking pussy. Because she hated him. She really hated him.
I mean, you know, there were plenty of people within his own party that hated him. Like, I think the main thing that they also, like, the reason why they hated him was just the fact that he's not one of them. He's not, like, you know, from no political dynasty. He's not really from, like, you know, he never really had like a background in politics to begin with. He just said like one time or way back when that, oh, I'd like to run for president. But
yeah, the only negative stuff I've seen. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and like so now like it's now he like he won and he's just kind of like I'm here now, bitch. Like it's like literally him to like his whole political party. So I think for moving on to like kind of just of I guess forecasting like the next couple of months, right? Like, do you think at this point, at least as far as Trump is concerned, like there's anything that still haven't watched The Boys too, by the way, guys.
Could you read that? It said Hillary right now hearing Madam President Kamala Harris in her head over and over.
Yo, can you imagine the cameras?
I'm not better.
If she gets elected and you just see the camera zooming in on Hillary's just fucking pissed off face, like for everyone to see. It's literally just going to be a 1-to-1 of that Homelander scene.
The Republicans are panicking. The number one thing they've been going after for Kamala is that she seems to laugh a lot. I've seen a lot of those fucking right and alt-right accounts go to like, isn't it weird that like she smiles a lot or her laugh sounds kind of off-putting? They have nothing.
No, they really don't have anything.
Nothing. It's insane. Like, I've never seen a turnaround this fast since 1 week ago when Trump got fucking shot. Or like a couple weeks ago when the debate happened, I guess. Dude, it's looking like it's, I don't know, man. Like, it really just goes to show how fast things change in politics. Because just like a week ago, it was looking so Joever.
Because, like, again, this is dynamic. Like, as far as this election season goes, like, we've never seen something like this for a while.
It was looking like we were so Joever, but now we're more Barack than we've ever been. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna ignore that. But anyways,
wait, I'm sorry. I Canala come up with something better. Sorry.
All right, moving on now. But he tried. just like Joe, he tried, and then just stop while you're ahead. But
dude, I'm just saying, women, black people, young people, for sure. Like,
it's because she's hot, man.
I know. It's like they fucking put up Rashida Jones. It's crazy.
I could actually even see Rashida Jones playing her like in the future as like, in a biopic or something.
Oh,
she looks pretty close.
Yeah, she'd be perfect.
She looks pretty close to her.
She'd be perfect. Yeah.
And like Kamala's got like that low key, oldish kind of lady frumpiness to her, like as well. Just because, like, she is pushing 60. She's about to turn 60, I think, either this year or next year.
And what is the other thing they have? Like anything about Israel? Donald Trump is the one who's the president who formally recognized Israel as its own state. He was the one who did that. I don't think people understand, because I see a lot of people pissed like, oh, but Kamala would support Israel and stuff. So did Biden. That's bipartisan. How the fuck do you not realize that? Like they have our fucking government by the balls when it comes to that shit. Like that's right or left. It does not fucking matter. Like they're all pro-Israel. It sucks, but it's just the truth.
Also goes for like a lot of the media companies as well. They're all like just I think even the right-leaning ones are all like pro-Israel.
Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention, by the way, regarding Elon, there's been some speculation that Elon is actually blocking Kamala Harris accounts. There was a huge influx of people following the official Kamala accounts, and some people have claimed that they're not able to follow them. I don't know if that's true or not, but that also sounds like something Elon would do. So to just further answer your question from like 30 minutes ago, no, he's not fucking supporting Kamala. Kamala's not going to give him that tax break. Kamala's not giving him that fucking tax break, bro.
I can't imagine she's even going to be like, I think never mind, fucking. Are we done here? I don't know. Is there much more left to be said about this?
Are we done here? Is it Joever?
I don't know. I guess just to wrap up then, like,
Yeah.
I think, again, it's going to be a pretty close race. I think for all of you who are excited for her running, don't count your chickens before they hatch, Just don't let this be another repeat of Hillary from like, fucking hell, I can't believe that was 8 years ago. Like, yeah, don't let it be another repeat of that from 8 years ago. Like, and I think, again, I think credit where credit is due. The Dems are actually like now they're actually doing shit, and like they're actually thinking here, and like they're actually planning. And I think to whoever I guess is in charge of that shit in that party, hats off to you about it for that, because you guys sucked 8 years ago. You guys were terrible. The lady you had to like take the reins was not your guy. It was not the guy. She was not the guy. I'm sorry. So, and I think it's even. I think it should even be said that it's almost fortuitous that like you guys even had like a person like Kamala to begin with, like in your corner, because if Joe's VP was just another sleepy looking white dude, y'all would have been fucked. I'm sorry. Truthfully, if that was another sleepy white dude who like was basically your next go-to, next guy, you guys were not gonna like have any shot. That's just a fact of the matter. I'm sorry. So I think if anything, hey, the stars aligned in the way for the Dems in a way for all of this. Like things are going well, it seems. Let's see if it continues to do so. Very curious as to like how that first debate between the two of them is gonna go, because that is going to be very telling as far as like kind of what sort of president we may potentially have in Kamala. To I guess the Republicans, it's like y'all being in panic mode is probably like, and you just really grasping at straws now at this point, like as far as like anything to use as ammunition against her. Like it's kind of sad, not gonna lie, considering like you really don't have anything. Like, as far as her like time being a DA for California, and like kind of just like the mass amount of like lockups she did of like dudes who were accused of possession. Yeah, like you really don't have anything. Like, and if people may even then like because she's a woman, they may even just throw like the whole like, oh, like she sucked dick all the way up to like kind of where she is at now, and it's like
or she's never born children.
Oh yeah, she's never born children,
which by the way none of the other presidents have.
I honestly am very curious. It's
Get
like
it?
She is 59. And this, I'm not even saying this to
what if
like,
she can?
Well, no, that's what I mean. It's like she's way past that age of like giving like birthing children now at this point. Like she's 59.
All right, everybody. I'll bite the bullet. I volunteer as tribute.
Gonna be the first lad of the White House.
Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. She needs to bear kids. Husband not doing it too much for her no more. He can't fucking, whatever. I mean, I'm young and vital.
Virile.
Put me in, coach. I'll fuck her. I'll fuck her. I'll fuck her.
I will do it for the nation.
I will fuck Kamala Harris for the nation. She'd probably be nicer than AOC, I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, that is true. I mean, again, so also, if she wins, it sets another precedence for this country where, hey, can be done. So, we shall see if she is going to be the first.
The only thing I can think about is her background as a criminal prosecutor potentially being a hindrance, but Democrats have abandoned the, tough on crime thing many years ago when their base dropped that, If you're focused, so like, I think it's irrational to focus on who Kamala Harris was as opposed to who she is now and what she is going to be preventing. I'm sick of voting for somebody just to like fucking have Donald Trump not be the president again, but like that's just where we are right now until the fucker dies. Or just stops running for president or some shit.
Or gets shot again.
Or gets shot again. And trust me, the people will... There will come a day where Donald Trump will be gone, but we will remember the people who bent the knee to him and just licked his ass and supported him. And eventually it's going to become a real stain on them politically, as opposed to being the virtuous one that it is for the alt-right and the right now. Because Kamala's going all forthright with it. She's saying like, oh, Donald Trump is a convicted rapist. I fucking prosecuted rapists. or Donald Trump. What is the other one? I was looking for the quote this whole time. If it seemed like I wasn't paying attention, I was paying attention. I was.
He's a liar and blah blah and cannot be trusted.
No, because like Kamala's not doing that. She's not doing that. He's a liar and cannot be trusted. She's actually like well, she kind of is, I guess. I mean, she's comparing herself to him.
Well, she's reading a script.
Based off
like
of her
she's
actual
reading their
experience.
script.
Hillary's whole thing was I'm not Trump, vote for me. And after 8 years of Obama, people didn't want to do that from people who didn't like Obama and just were willing to give somebody a new shot. Kamala Harris says, I'm not Trump, but here's why I'm fucking better than Trump. Basically. And her whole history of like prosecuting people who have done all the crimes that he's done. Like, this guy's a convicted felon, and like, I'm the person who fucking has convicted felons. So what does that say? Some people are into that, some people aren't, but I'm just saying I'm seeing support from like all different sides of the aisle for this person. She appeals to so many bases. A lot of people really do not want Trump again, but we're willing to either give him a shot or just not vote at all because of just Biden seemingly being like older and more senile. I don't know. This feels good for this woman. I think if things keep going the way they're going, and 4 months are going to come down the line, they're going to find something on Kamala, or going to make up some rumor about her or whatever to dig up on her, and the sides may swing again. Look what changed in the last week. It's fucking crazy what changed in just the last week alone. So, truthfully, who knows? It feels pretty good for her right now, as all things are concerned. I am down to have a PILF in there. And like former Republicans are endorsing her. Like a lot of former Republicans are endorsing her. It's crazy. Like the former Georgia Republican Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, he endorsed Kamala. Obviously all the Democrats are. The only people that seem to not be backing Kamala right now are those few like dipshit, like insane, like spinning in circles far left people on Twitter who were not going to vote for Joe Biden regardless. Like because like he's not left enough for them. But for people who like have a brain, who don't give a shit about that kind of stuff, who aren't going to vote for somebody just because they don't get everything they want out of them, I think they're going to do that. Is it going to be more of the same? I don't think Kamala Harris is going to be the life-changing president we all know and love. But again, she's preventing the life-changing president that a lot of people already know and hate. And if you're going to purity test that after like Donald Trump's track record, I think you're insane. I think you're insanely naive, if I'm being honest with you, saying that, oh, we didn't get everything we wanted, the perfect candidate, so we're just gonna get nothing at all because we're fucking babies.
When do you ever, though? That's the thing.
That's they don't. They live in misery. They're fucking terminally online people. I'm not gonna purity test the woman that is standing between us and 4 more fucking years of Trump. And this doesn't feel like somebody I'm reluctantly voting for either, at the very least, for the sole fucking fact that she's not almost 90. Like, that's... I don't understand.
No,
like,
we don't want
putting
another shambling corpse of a president anymore.
No. They're putting in what we
really
need for that. And
that.
to basically indirectly support somebody who stands for everything that goes against what you believe in, just because the other person was a DA or like did something that like you deemed morally corrupt, God knows how many years ago, lets me know you're the same kind of person to dig like through like 15 years old like Twitter history to try to cancel somebody for like something that you don't like them doing now. It lets me know that you're that same fucking person. Stop being a shithead. Just fucking unite around somebody for once in your life, even though they're not perfect, just because there's something way worse for you on the other end of the aisle. You want to prevent the fucking Republican perma trifecta that's going to happen? Think of how stacked the court is now. What's gonna happen if this guy's fucking elected again? You're going to be causing more harm than you realize just because you didn't get everything you wanted, and that lets me know, despite you having a fucking political science degree or anything, that you are as fucking stupid and naive as they come, and you don't actually know how this shit works. Cry about it all you want. It sucks that this is the way it works in the system. I don't think Kamala's going to be the life-changing candidate that we're going to all know and love. She might just be more of Biden. But again, it's not about, like, you know, voting for her because she is a woman. A lot of people are voting for her because they are women. And that's the difference. So just grow the fuck up, is what I'm saying. Get the fuck off Twitter. Stop being a slacktivist. I guarantee, like, you do less for, like, these causes than you think you are. You're a fucking loser. Go fuck yourself. And that's my message. I think that we can all agree on at the end of the day. Like, fuck you. Like, President Jimble, You know what I mean? Like in fucking Smiling Friends. Did you see that episode?
I did not, actually.
Fuck! Oh, like, he basically ends the debate with just being like, guys, I can't do this. The fact is, the whole time I've been trying to find out what president I should be. And I finally realized it. I'm the president that never should have been president. And for all of you leaving me mean comments and messages online, fuck you. You're a retard. Fucking jack-offs. And then he won because the fucking speech was so good, and then he fucking wound up winning.
Honestly,
by telling America to fuck off.
If we ever did get a president like who was that unhinged and just went like off on television, like the handlers and everyone just on his side was just like, no, let him cook. But he just like curses out like everybody. I guarantee the response to it would be a dice roll a bit, but I almost I can't imagine though that like that person, like that potential candidate, would get like hella support just for that alone.
You don't even have to
because
have that
it's
be a
so
dice
human.
roll. Look at Trump. That's basically what him getting shot was, and being like, fight. It was like basically him rejecting that and being like, oh, this guy's tough. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's basically the same thing. It's not a dice roll, Dennis. Like, that president would fucking do ham for like a week until like, they'd lose all the delegates because of what they fucking said. But basically, dude, the guy fucking like pulled up like an emergency alert on phones. It went, bah, bah. Hey everybody, this is President Jimbo. I'm gonna be the money president. Each one of you gets $1 million, so you can all be rich. And then Pim's like, what the you can't do that. That's gonna like crash the economy. Oh, my bad. Scratch that, everybody. All better. You gotta watch that episode. It's incredible. And Charlie's like, dude, turn on the TV. It doesn't matter what channel. It doesn't matter. We're done. Here are the plugs. We promise next week, unless some fucking major shit happens, like, oh, somebody tried to kill Kamala.
It could.
We will not fucking we will not have a whole episode dedicated to politics again. Sorry. We love y'all. Here are the plugs. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on YouTube mainly, where I'm posting actual content again. I got gaming videos. I'm doing that shit again. Crazy, right? Subscribe. YouTube.com/Nintoonist. Like the video. Comment about what you think about Kamala. Or, I don't know, you can tell us who you're voting for if you want. You can go ahead and do that.
Tell us why you think she's hot.
And tell us why you think she's hot. I might save that title for, like, later on in the election. I kind of want to title this one, It's So Joever. Because I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about it later. Mwah. I just pretended you're Kamala. Mwah. I pretended the audience was Kamala. Gave her a kiss. Anyways, fuck you. Jagoffs.